What's going on, guys? My name is Alan and welcome to some Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon gameplay. This is a new game that came out today. It came out yesterday for you guys, but it is a new game. It does not require Far Cry 3 to own, or to play I should say. My Skype just went off, so don't check your Skype. I know when I'm watching a commentary and someone's Skype goes off, I always check my Skype. It's just a habit I have, but yeah, don't check your Skype, unless if yours went off too, and that'd be pretty cool if it went off. Anyway, this is a new game, as I said. It's this game is set in the vein of a 1980s combat action movie. I don't know why I said combat, but it's set in the vein of a 1980s action movie. There's cyborgs, so the first thing that comes to mind for me is Terminator. And you just saw earlier, there's a shotgun in this game, and the shotgun is a repeater shotgun. So comes to mind is Terminator 2 when Terminator had the shotgun like that. So this game borrows a lot from 80s action movies, and really also it's also really cheesy, but on purpose this time. Back in the 80s, those movies were sometimes they were cheesy on purpose, but most of the time they were cheesy on accident. The protagonist in this game is named Rex Power Colt, so very cheesy, of course. But the character himself, the voice actor has a really low pitched, really deep voice, and he sounds like he's supposed to sound like a stereotypical badass, or a typical badass in these movies. I think that they do really nail in the head there. This movie is just really, it has a lot of things from the 80s in general. The cutscenes are pretty cool too, like you'll see here. It's not done in full motion. It's really cool. I'm trying to think of a game that did this too, not only back in the 80s, but who had this kind of cutscene too. But this entire game it's a comedy. It's not like it's most taken seriously. So it's a lot different than Far Cry 3 in that aspect. But the character in this game is a lot more likable than Jason Brody in Far Cry 3. If you didn't play Far Cry 3, the main character was named Jason Brody, and he was a little bitch. I'm sorry, but he was. He's a sheltered suburban kid from America, and he gets on this island, and I believe it's the Pacific. I'm not really sure, but gets on this island, and this island is controlled by pirates, and that's not good, of course. So he has to adapt to survive or whatever, but he's still such a bitch. I'm sorry, he's just a bitch. I have to say that. But Rex Colt here is a lot more tolerable, even though he's a joke, not really meant to be taken seriously in the slightest. But the villain here, I believe his name is Sloan. Right there, you see him. He is a stereotypical villain. He has a beret, tank top, cyborg too. So again, this movie is making fun of the 80s action movies. So I don't know, I like it. This game also references the 80s in general. You have a lot of neon colors. There's the background music is reminiscent of a synthesizer, which is a machine that was used to create beats, or the background effect in music. I don't believe it's actually a synthesizer that used to create this music, but the OST is really 80s reminiscent. I love the 80s. I love 80s music. A lot of good music in there, but yeah, it's really reminiscent of that. So I love this game. I honestly do. I haven't gone too far into it yet, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Like there's this game. The gameplay is there's a lot of things that return from Far Cry 3. I should say the mechanics. There's a lot of things that return from Far Cry 3. First off, it plays this the same way. You move the same way. The controls are the same, to my knowledge. I haven't played Far Cry 3 in a while, but the controls feel the same to me. But there's a lot of returning aspects to this game. The bases you can liberate return. Not as many, of course, but I believe there's 12 in this game. I can't remember how many there were in the Far Cry 3, but the bases return. The bases, if you don't know what they are, there's these bases you go into, and you have different ways of going in there, and there's enemies in there, of course, and you have different ways of liberating this base. You can go in there and just guns blazing, of course. You can go in there stealth. You can go in there disable the alarms, because if the alarms go off, reinforcements come to the rescue of the enemies. So you have to disable those, and then they can't call for backup. But in some bases in Far Cry 3, there were animals. They're in cages. In this game, I don't believe there's any yet. I haven't run into a base that had that yet, but you can signal if you if you disable the force field around the base. The blood dragons come. And the blood dragons, they're not like dragons like in Skyrim, but they are dragons that are this force fields keep the dragons out. But when the force fields go off, the dragons are attracted to the base, and they go in there and they kill the bad guys. So I don't know. The bases are really fun. That's what I loved about Far Cry 3, because that was really easy gameplay to record too. So yeah, I like that. There's also some of the side missions, like in this game it's called Path of the Predator, I believe. But in Far Cry 3 it was called Path of the Hunter, I believe. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, those return. There's this thing now. There's haunted rescue missions, and those are that's how you. Well, I believe you earn you had to earn attachments for your guns or whatever for them to be unlocked. You have to go in there and complete these side quests or whatever. So unlike in Far Cry 3 where you just went there and bought them, you don't get to do that, of course. But I don't know. I like this idea too. Of course, I think it was a little just easy. You can just go in there and buy in Far Cry 3. But right up here you see a blood dragon for the first time. They're not like dragons in Skyrim, as I said, or what you would imagine a dragon to be, but they're still pretty cool. They have bad eyesight, as I believe they mentioned as I believe they just mentioned in the game. So, like there's one right there. They have neon scales. So, again, this game is really neon heavy. So, yeah, I mean, I like it though. The red scales mean that they know where you are and they're coming for you. Yellow means they are aware that somebody's there, and green means they're unaware. So it's really cool though. I like how I did that. What I like about this game really is here in a second I believe a health bar comes up. So I like that a lot when you're attacking these dragons. You get a lot of XP for it. There's XP returns in this game, but the upgrades are automatic. You don't have to go in there and select them or whatever. Upgrades, once you get to a certain level, that upgrade is automatically applied to your character. So it's pretty cool. Like you get like extra health bar, I believe. You just get a lot of extra things here and there. I noticed a lot of the moves that you can unlock in Far Cry 3. Like there's one move that once you knife an enemy, you can hit R1 on PS3 and you'll steal their knife and toss it at the enemy. And that was an upgrade you had to earn in Far Cry 3. In this game, it's automatically applied to the game, which is really nice. That was a really helpful move in that game. Also, the chain. If there's a lot of enemies in a row, you can chain kill them without going out of stealth, of course. So that's, of course, really helpful. These hearts that I'm picking up here are used to kind of distract the dragons. So, excuse me, I burped there. I'm really good about kind of masking my burp voice. My burping. So, whatever. I don't know why I had to mention that. But anyway, so these hearts are used to kind of distract the enemies, or distract the dragons, I should say. You can throw one to a force field. Now the dragon cannot go in the force field itself, but it can fire its lasers into the force field, which are really deadly to the enemies. Right there, you got a little too close to the dragon right there. But if you stay crouched long enough, they can't find you, of course. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. Really beautiful art style. I love the red. Just the entire sky is red. There's a nuclear war that happened, so that's the backstory of this game. This game is really funny, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So I will bring you guys more gameplay in the future, and so yeah, that's pretty much gameplay commentary, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys later.